And this episode of CEO Talk will broaden your perspective on property and real estate market in Thailand and the whole region ahead of the ASEAN Economic Community in 2015 with the International Group Editor Guru, Mr. Andrew Batt, where we'll be looking at existing attractive areas in Thailand and emerging places, as well as the challenge that Thailand may face and how the country should adapt itself to remain competitive in this market when there are movements in the markets in this region.
What would be the outlook for I would say, the whole region ahead of the ASEAN Economic Community in 2015?
Well, I think everyone's looking at ASEAN, and over the last year and a half, there's been a lot of money coming in that's kept property prices, by and large, on the up. I can't see that changing. I think Asia will still be very, very prominent. If you're a property investor and you're looking for returns and you're looking for a fairly safe option, yeah, you could put your money in London or you could put your money in Singapore, but they are very, obviously the cost there, you could buy 10 units in Bangkok for what you could buy 1 unit in Singapore. I think you're going to see an increase in the number of people from outside the region who will be looking at Southeast Asia in more detail. Even places like Myanmar. All it needs is for a few law changes there, and private investors will be going in. Commercial investors are already there. Arguably, anybody who's investing commercially in Myanmar has already missed the boat. There are people there who are already making a lot of money, and one of the quotes that we often hear is that the prices in Yangon
has been skyrocketed.
Skyrocketing and higher than Bangkok.
Yeah.
Land values are higher. So yeah, but just imagine when private investors have the opportunity to go in. It's not going to happen immediately. It will happen, but obviously then that's a very much a frontier market, and you wouldn't go in there unless you know exactly what you're doing. Just for Myanmar as an example, in Yangon, the premium prices for condos, unlike in Bangkok, it's generally the high floors that have the premium prices, but in Yangon, it's the low floors that have the premium prices because
of the electricity?
Correct. Absolutely, yeah, because the electric's out so much that people don't want to walk up the lift, walk up the stairs. So it's the low floors that command the premium prices. So that's something that you need to know when you're doing your due diligence, when you're checking out an area. You need to be comfortable. And yeah, Singaporeans are buying, as I said, Singaporeans are buying pretty much everywhere right now, and some of them are probably buying a little bit blind.
What do you mean by that, a little bit blind?
I'm thinking of one example of a lady who came up to me at an exhibition. She'd bought a unit in Makassan, and she'd never been there. And she was asking me what's the best way to get to her development from Suvarnabhumi. To me, that was quite scary.
Why?
Because I wouldn't buy anywhere if I hadn't seen it. Would you?
No.
You need to see the area. You
Yes.
need to understand the precincts, the setting,
the surroundings.
Correct. So for people in Thailand, I'm surprised there's not more looking at Malaysia. Very few of the projects in Penang that I visited recently and KL, very few are being bought by Thais. I'm not sure why, but they're very, very good value. They're probably in terms of the construction and lifestyle, it's probably very similar to Bangkok. Prices may be a little bit higher, but I can't see any reason why you wouldn't want to buy in KL, because right now there is a big supply and demand issue. There's not enough decent condos being built in KL and around. So, yeah.
So, would you say Malaysia or Myanmar? Which one or somewhere else would be most attractive ahead of the AEC?
I think regardless of the AEC, you've got to buy somewhere that you're happy with, not just because of what's going to be happening. You've got to look at the property, you've got to look at the town, you've got to look at... You've got to be comfortable. If you're buying it for your own use, it's got to be obviously somewhere that you want to live. If you're buying it for rental returns, you've got to become unemotional about it. You've got to think of it from the tenant's perspective. You might like the colour of the wall, but that's your personal preference, and the tenant might want something completely different. So you've really got to think why you want the property and what it's going to be doing for you. In terms of location, look at what's happening, look at the news, follow the trends, subscribe to news alerts from Property Guru. We publish over 700 property stories every month, and talk to us. I've got editors in Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, and here in Thailand. We'll happily point you in the direction of some recent data reports. We can't tell you where to buy, but we can certainly give you the information that can point you in that direction. I mean, I've got my personal favourites, and I know that's what you're probably wanting to ask. Keep your eyes on Vietnam.
Vietnam.
Keep a watch
Why
on Vietnam. Because very few foreigners are buying there right now. If the government does relax its foreign buying rules, then it's going to literally explode in terms of popularity. I think you'll see a lot of the people who are looking at Phuket, looking at Penang, looking at Bali, suddenly they'll be switching their attentions. At least they're viewing, to start with, they're going to start looking at Vietnam, and if it proves attractive enough, very soon you could see a lot of them actually moving their buying interests there.